Hello everyone, welcome back to a Hearts of Iron 4 video that I am currently making. Well, first one actually that I'm making. Of course I have previous save games. New game, January 1st, 1936. Other countries. Just to let you know, I suck at France, Italy, and the Soviet Union. Okay? But on today's video, I will show you how to farm a overpowered Peru early game. Early game, kind of get you're already set up once World War II kicks off. Historical AI. I'll just save and play. Doesn't matter about the name. You usually don't have more than like one country's game. Select all units. Yeah, I don't start off with anyone. Okay, that's okay. If it's a very bad trait, I would advise you just restart until you get a good one, since it's a very early game. Our first country we will take out is going to be Ecuador. So on those two. Research. This one's always tricky because I have to remember you don't start off with wrong one. Naval invasion. You need that. Make sure you get that as soon as possible. It's going to come in extremely handy. Second off, more research speed, obviously. 3 civilians. What you want to do? You want to build more civilians. You only start off with 5. This will get you up to 10. No divisions in training. You want to spam out 19. Do industrial effort. Okay, we are fascists. Most nations you only do political and go down one of these, but the moment we are going to pump out a bunch of industry action on construction. Don't care about those two. 19, location, doesn't matter. Send them up here. You want to pump out as many as you can early game. When you reach Colombia, it's going to be a bit more difficult. You currently do not need inter fighters, just focus on guns, and only guns. I'll make sure this is set up correctly, so I don't have to do any editing. Because for political, you want that guy, but you don't want him right away. Most games I would say go for this, but we only have 5. We have 8 civilian, but we only have 5 that we can use, so don't. Trade, don't worry about this window whatsoever. Don't worry about it. We'll be wasting your time looking at it. But if you do want to get iron, Chile is great for that. Tungsten, Bolivia. But we'll worry about them later on. Then what you do is you just wait. You also have a navy. Surprise. Super fleet them. Get a commander. Realize this guy's actually somewhat good. Of course, I would say equally actually. Get 2 subs in each, 1 destroyer, 1 light cruiser. Because you're gonna just go ahead and do this. These are gonna be at most all the areas you have to do. And now you just wait till February. And I'll catch you then. Welcome back. So usually it's around February 18th is when you get as much political power as you need. And because you are guaranteed by the United States and so is Ecuador, you can justify and annex them. Or as I like saying, you puppet them so then you can actually truly annex them and get the navy later on. Because these, I believe you have a navy. If they don't have a navy, just straight up annex them. But like Colombia has. Am I the only nation with a puppet Chile? You need their navy. Same with Argentina. Wow, these guys actually have big navies. Okay, usually you want to make sure they have a navy before you go ahead and do anything with that. You got 1 to 2 number of divisions. That is sad. You have more manpower than us. Now, of course, what you want to do is you want to go down here, construction, then one industrial, then another construction, and then go down here. Depending on how you play the game, it might change depending on how much manpower you use. Do construction, get my civilians. Those will go come in very handy, very quickly. Also, keep an eye out for this Ethiopian war because somehow I have 6 for attention. Oh yeah, that's because if Italy somehow steamrolls Ethiopia before you're able to do this, it reset it because it reduces the attention by 3%. So if that's sitting at 0 and Italy completes it, it really sucks because you don't get that nice -3 bonus that they hand off on you. And for the next research, you could just simply do construction. Yeah, construction. Yeah, it was -1.6 this time, but wasn't that much because of that one right there. Usually it lowers it by a lot more, but I'm guessing it's because of how all these happened. So it did go down by a bit, which is always a nice thing to happen. Just means these guys can't get in trouble as much. And the United States being the United States guarantees literally everyone, including Canada. So if you want, I'll leave out the US attack Canada. Okay, so once you complete the transfer ship, forget about everything. Just forget about everything here. You will need submarines later on. At least get the 36 ones, but not right now. Just forget about them. Next, what you want to do is, because you can't really do blitzkrieg, so you have to use superior firepower, but we don't have any artillery because we don't have the factories or manpower to output them. So just like research weapons actually. However, this build will require you to go down to pure firepower and pick up at least improved artillery later on in the game. Because of air, I'm going to completely ignore all of this. Same with air doctrine at the moment because we aren't fighting any superpowers. This is simply going to be a game of raiding at the moment because you need at least Panama, Colombia, Venezuela, and Ecuador. Venezuela is going to be the hardest one to capture. Panama is going to be tricky because of how we're going to do it. Because we're going to be at war with Colombia and Panama at the same time, but you want to be at war with Colombia before Panama because there's only 2 provinces here, not 3, because you want land troops here. Get Panama to remove their unit from the capital down to here, take the capital, call this unit back into Panama. We're going to do that because we don't really output resources, as I'm going to show you. There's a supply address. Let's have a look. There we go. We only output oil and some tungsten. And we aren't really using tungsten. But we are going to be getting a lot of oil soon. Like 49, 57, 13. That's in the Netherlands. So unless you're teaming with like Germany and their player, they take out the Netherlands early on, and you join them, you can take this province and this one, both of which will become states later on, but it's kind of nice to have them. This one is especially nice with Venezuela. But if you're playing Germany and you don't want, and just a food player, and you could just give them to the duchies and these, because these provinces really suck being on their own. Of course, you're going to have manpower issues throughout this entire game, and factory issues. You're literally never going to have enough factories, and you're never going to have enough manpower, most of the time. Nationalist Spain. Well, there goes the Spanish Civil War. There we go. Apparently it went down a bit normally. Sent volunteers. I mean, you can send volunteers if you want. But I can't because you need at least 30 divisions. There we go. Infrastructure. You do want to get as much factories out before you fully annex Ecuador, actually go to war with them, because if you don't do it correctly, these end up in Ecuador and you can't use them for a while, which sucks. Oh, hey, look, we got some manpower there for a second, so we are on our way to fully rejuvenating our manpower. Of course, you want to do a naval invasion. One into there, second one into there, because this is going to be the quick way to knock them out. Of course, you would want fully trained units if you can do this. Get infantry, get 2 of the at least normal level boys. Got better infantry, go ahead, get supply equipment. It's going to be more than these guys have, and they still don't have a navy, so you don't have to fuck with them. Unless you do, which is going to really suck, because then you're going to have to give them a bunch of stuff to get those ships. Rally behind this. It's a very boring game, still don't do this. Even though I could, don't. It's going to be a waste of time. Even building factories here is going to be a age-old process, because we don't have infrastructure at all. Yeah, 11 now. Incentives. Have that, you go do this. Buildings do that. It will go into this one, which isn't that cool, but it's still better than nothing. This is going to be the one that's going to get most of them, I believe. Issue is, this province doesn't really serve any tactical purpose other than holding one aircraft, and that's it. Justification is complete. Get 2 units here, you want 1 going here, 1 going here. Sorry, my phone went off apparently. It doesn't matter where this house is, you don't really have to hold on to any of this land at all. All you need is this and this. Put everyone into motion. Declare the war. Realize you declared war. Let tick 1 bit and then put on a navy. You want to tick a bit so that way these guys all get into conflicts. And they should only have 1 to 5 units. So happens to get 1. You do want to actually send those guys there. And rush in and take the capital. And you shall win. I'm gonna... Oh, it's on 5 speed. That should never happen. Of course, you could... Oh. Wait, do they not have that one? Okay, this really sucks because usually there's also a civilian counterpart to this guy, but there isn't, so that really sucks in our case. So yeah, you probably aren't going to buy any of these other than this one later on, and maybe this one. Yeah. I mean, you could increase conscription, not what I would advise. I would advise to go with division and offense attack at the moment. Well, I probably made a great mistake letting this guy sit here. Should not do that. if I go ahead and get this, my research speed is always better. Of course, this guy's now in circle. Doesn't matter, you won the game. Easily take both of them and turn. Still have 19 left, so that's a good show. You only got 1 army experience out of that, which shows you how quickly this can be pretty much done, essentially. Just keep pumping out units, putting them on the front line. Doesn't matter how trained they are, they just need to exist in the most part. And of course, with this army, what you want to do is march them up to here, basically. That's what you want the front line to look like. There's reasons, because we're going to be doing naval invasions. Of course, it's still going to complain you don't have enough. You could, if you want. I would advise against it because it's only going to be 2 for a long time. It doesn't make any sense because we aren't at a net 8 loss yet. Once we do get at a net 8 loss, I probably would suggest putting a factory in. Of course, this could also go with Venezuela, but with Venezuela you would want to navally invade Panama instead, because Colombia is a pain in the neck. So once you declare war, they somehow magically just make tons of divisions. I don't know how, but they just do. I think it's because of how you get built up. Because they're gonna get put in a different one. They're gonna move. They're gonna be put in this one apparently. Fine by me. You always want to keep an eye on them because sometimes they put them in weird places you don't want them to actually go. You might put them in Ecuador. I have seen that happen, and they've also put them in the Galapagos Islands, which I think is funny, but it does happen. Side note, you do want to upgrade your guns eventually. Click on them again, show outdated, and reselect it so that way they don't fully get tossed out. It's just the new guns will be preferred to the old ones now, but your old ones, if they're in the field, they won't get kicked out. Also, make sure garrisons are high, operations can be low, upgrades be low, reinforcements on medium. Go over here, occupied territories, swap it out with the horses, and put it on local police. We're doing this for the long game. Of course, we're going to get core states on all the Ecuador, Colombia, Venezuela, and Panama, including these core states in Peru. You can only get these as cores if you play as Peru while reforming Gran Colombia, which I find hilarious. Now, of course, you want to do the armament efforts, because now you have your 13 lovely civilian factories. Of course, these, don't worry about it. It's not worth the time going in repairing it. 2 infrastructure doesn't matter. What is going to matter is, why is this infrastructure only at 30? Okay, well, we still have one more. Support weapons, change it out to... I would suggest paratroopers. They are a bit OP, but you don't have the planes for them, right? At least I don't think we do. Do you have transport planes? Oh, we do. Okay, I did not know those came standard. That was my bad on that. You can, or you could just go to industry and start researching on construction and repair speed, which is always going to be handy. There's many exploits you can do with that as the bigger countries. Since you have a bunch of research slots, you can just keep doing them, and eventually, the extra time spent on them is actually a good thing. Now, of course, depending on how you play this game, you can actually put more forts along this line if you really want to. Each one only takes 5 days to complete. So it's not that bad of an idea. That takes us to May. When is this due? Oh, we don't even have political power yet. Yeah, it's going to cost a lot of political power, so you're going to need bank it at the moment. Unless you're going to change your tactics and not do this one, but do the political efforts. And then go down this one. I'm making sure it's not like a better political one over here on the neutrality, which we can't take because we're not non-aligned. Of course, most of this branch is just going to leave alone for the most part. I'll see you back when something interesting happens. Okay, now we have exactly 200 political power, which is what we're going to need. Yeah, okay, so you want to do it on Panama. 240 days, that's a long time. Then go to Colombia. You get first 60. That's a long time. Cancel the one on Panama. And if I did this correctly, you need about 211. My bad on that. This will be at 350 days, which is what you want. So this one is just going to be a bit longer, but you really want them close because if you're playing as one of these bigger powers out here, you get like a 5-day difference. For a reason, I did not get that 5-day difference, but you still want them as close as possible. Get radio. If you really want to, you could do it on Panama first, so you can grind XP on them. Doesn't really matter. I mean, Colombia, not Panama. My bad. I am still waiting for one of these to put them in a place it's not supposed to go, because one of them got put here. One of them is now probably going to get put here. Also, one shielding down here, apparently. One in here? Nah, nope. So, in Ecuador, it's actually pretty bad. I mean, you could puppet them and just have them do the industrial focuses out here, but it's going to take a lot of political power and convoys to then re-annex them. So unless you're playing as Argentina, like a bigger country, it's not going to be worth it to have them build up their industry. These countries in the middle, that it will be worth the prospect of letting them build up. And for this, I just am doing construction 2, going down armament effort, and then we're going to do this one. And for this, I just went radio here, did some gun research. Pretty much all of these I have left untouched at the moment, other than what I've already shown you. Of course, I'm letting these pick either one you want, really depending on how you're going to play. If you're going to play as more of an expansion, once you get Grand Colombia, you want to go down this one. If you're gonna be more of a quiet naval player, you would rather go with this one, right? But it depends, honestly, if you want to do more factories. The only thing that changes is just some production. So if you're gonna be more of a just naval, just build ships, you want to go this way. But if you're gonna be more of a naval invasion guy, you want to go this way. Simply just based on which route you're gonna play. Because keep pumping out these divisions. At the moment, we're just waiting, so just be updating you when I take new tech. And those are going to be popping up a lot. So, obviously, you could do excavation for resource gain. Not really needed. You could try to do stuff over here. What I would recommend is getting some artillery tech age. That moment, all these are going to go onto guns, but we are going to want at least one on artillery. Anti-air does not matter at the moment because you're in South America. Oh, wait, what? I just found? Hold on. still mostly at peace, that's nice. Just quick overview. Not much has happened yet. That show off some load power. I'll come back when something interesting happens. Okay, so most that's happened. Chinese United Pact for US signed neutrality back. And National Spain is going to win the Civil War even though there was a anarchist uprising. Not really going to help. Of course, you're going to eventually reach 150 again. You might be thinking, let's go more manpower. No, don't. Instead, you would want to do... There's none up there. So you could do... Oh, that's for naval bombing. That's... These guys actually kind of suck. This one's okay, but not really the best. This one is going to be a godsend, since we are fighting in South America, but we do not have any logistics issues, so you want to do this one first. Next up, I would advise doing the logistics expert, or save up political power and get a convoy raiding one, or get a designer to help research, depending on honestly how you want to play the game. See you again in a few. On a side note, trade has now reached 8. I would advise trading with the United States as it takes no convoys. Radio's been researched. You could go down here. These aren't really that important since it's early game, you're a small country. Don't waste your research slots on those at all. Instead, do this, power production. Since you're going to get up there eventually. This is what you're going to want that to look like. And of course, your tree should be looking about like this. Hello guys, I'm back again. I just saw this special event pop up. So of course, into our artillery just finished too. I did not realize that. So you could go ahead and get an extra research slot if you really wanted. Can't get this one till you have 50 factories or more, which does include these shipyards, naval dockyards. My bad. But at the moment, we are going to actually go down here to get mostly this lovely population boost here and this division training time discount. Because all of them are pretty good. Because that just finished, so you can take this. I advise going with the superior firepower at the moment. And once all my divisions are out and on the front lines, I'll show you how to exactly plan out your battles to get the most... How do I put this? Most... best way to deal with this weird division count, which is going up fast. Okay, so Italy just announced its claims on Yugoslavia. At this point, focus finished, and I did save up all that political power. You do want to do this one. I do understand this is I don't like this negative, personally. But we will select that focus. This is how the focus tree should look like. You do want to go down the nationalism focus all the way down to paramilitarism. This is going to be a nice focus down here once we reach it though. So once you get down to paramilitarism, I would suggest doing an extra research slot. If you want to, you could do this, since it does do more support, which is always handy, and some defense on current territory, and you can also create factions, which will then get you closer to this one. But in the meantime, we have this infantry expert, which we already got, and then we're going to do the logistics expert, and save this political power at the moment. And for this, stop going down that one, and start working over here on the improved machine tools. And then once this completes, you would want to go down this first industry up to at least Tech 2 on that one. For the superior firepower, you want to get at least down to mobile defense. If you want to go ahead and keep doing this one, you could go down straight to overwhelming firepower, but we currently don't have any artillery, so it's not going to make any sense, and we also have no support companies, so it'd just be the best to stop at the mobile defense at the moment. Besides that, we also got another 150, which should go to boost us onto a war economy. This is overpowered nonetheless, because I believe we now have 3 consumer goods, but that is yeah, it pretty much just gives us consumer good factories a massive debuff from 35% all the way down to 20, and military construction speed just got boosted because we aren't going to be building any more civilian factories anymore. Oh, 1 second. I just have my music turned up, forgot to turn it down. So we currently just got a low goal on Panama. So what you want to do is get 2 divisions. I was not expecting it to go by this quickly. I thought I'd be able to get these guys out. Actually, I am. Make sure I don't get far on there. Send them here. So you want at least 2 divisions here, and you want to set the naval plant to take out 2 little provinces. Send 1 plan there. Just then gonna get both 2, and then to get another one set up, go here. Wait for those 2 units to move. Select 1, put it on here, so each one will now only take 7 days. My navy is already out. And Panama, we're gonna check really quickly. Has no ships, don't puppet it, just straight annexation. Okay. I'm gonna let my units get into position really quickly here. Don't bother railroading them, just let them walk. Remember, go down this one because we are really gonna want that recruitable population as quickly as possible. Of course, we don't have any extra building slots in our cars. We do have one up here if you do want to use it. Be my guest, pop something down there, but I'd advise against doing it. Based on our occupation score at the moment, which is horrendous. I don't know why it's horrendous. Probably because we don't have any manpower. Which is why you need that manpower as fast as humanly possible at the moment. I mean, I really... Do we not have some that increases manpower? We really don't. You can get this guy since y'all gonna be building a bunch of mills. That'll be a 30+ boost. Otherwise doing limited conscription now, since it doesn't add any negatives. Extensive is when you first start getting your first negatives, which is not good. So these 3, limited is the best out of all of these 3, based on the fact that it doesn't give any negatives. These also don't give negatives, they just don't give you as much manpower, but you don't want to go from like disarmed straight up to limited because you haven't drained your manpower pool yet, which would be a big negative. So, making sure everything is planned out, go ahead and do that. Go over, declare the war, and they're also guaranteed like we are, so it would not matter. You send out your 2 units, and you keep these guys basically just sat here. Go ahead, take it, send 1 unit over here, and then what you want to do is naval plan 1 out here, and then naval plan a second one here, essentially. Take this guy, put him on this one, and actually delete this plan because it's not correct. Now that that has been taken, what you want to do is set up another naval plan here, which will actually go through the canal because of how it is, we now own part of the canal. So now the US and anyone allied to it can use it if they have the access. anyone allied to us, and we can use it now. That is a nice cheat sheet. We can also now send our ships up here too now, which is actually a very nice cheat indeed. Now you want to get both of those set up. Make sure both invasions are planned. Execute them. Of course, you can let that sit and get some political power, because you are going to need political power very quickly because of how this is going to go. Of course, now we are getting a bit more manpower. Let's rally behind this cause, and you want to do a dual-pronged attack, which is going to give you one of two results. It's either going to give you Panama, the best result. Oh, it's not going to give you Panama, but because it's not going to give you Panama, you can cheese it a lot, because that unit is going to get lost. And as soon as it lands, what you should do is have it directly redeploying. Get that. Look at your decisions. Realize most of these decisions aren't the best at the moment. Yeah, that one just sucks. Some of these sometimes are good, but yeah, at the moment all these just suck. Wow. Well, that's unexpected. But you are going to want to start stacking that political okay, they moved back too quickly. So, yeah, usually they stay, but apparently they moved this time. Not the best result. Pop one down here. Double check this justification is going to be done soon. Look at him, realize they do have more, they might have more units than you. Which is why you're going to sit and do absolutely nothing. Yes, you heard me right. We're going to sit and do absolutely nothing. Now, of course, we want to put these... I messed that one up. What that one should do is it should go into Colombia. Of course, those plans aren't active. This one is based on how you do it. Unless you're a idiot AI and you did that. Who told him he can do that? Like, seriously. Is that... What the... Okay, that's weird. Okay, so otherwise you want to just... shift-click this one, pretty much. Which will only activate this plan, because it's the only one that should be active at all. Militarism just got completed. We are now going to hit the part where we get a 2% bonus in manpower. We are still low on that manpower, but we are actually climbing it back up now. Because if you want the exact stats, there you go. This manpower is going to become very useful right now. Just declared war on them. As you can see, we aren't really doing that good at pushing, so what you want to do is simply stop pushing and select all, press H. What you would rather do is wonder how they're losing. Send up 2 units up here just to be on the safe side. And what you should actually now do, since you just saw allies losing for what reason, is build extra factories. Of course, make sure this one is on top. So don't do what I did and only put down a set of 1, put down a set of 2. Because what's going to happen is they're going to keep pushing into you, and you eventually just are going to win by that default. Also make sure your planes, if you do have them, are actually targeted up here. Now of course we have Panama now. So what I would suggest you do is actually activate both plans, because it's going to activate these guys to do some pushing, which is going to actually trap those units, and then send this guy up to... Oh wait, you want to keep him here actually. And Panama uses the OG. Annex all, and effectively just delete this line, but because of how you're set up, you just really actually just want to hold this one part and actually put just some defensive bonuses there. So that way you don't lose it, but it will come in handy in the future. I'll just suggest sitting on your political power at the moment, unless you see one of these that really stands out, like this one. That's going to be a really nice bonus at the moment. Well, we have lost less men. Hold all attacks. Press H. They've really moved units off because of this, which is fine by me. Deploy. Then what you're going to do is you're going to want to set up another false stack. Complete 2, so that way it is exactly 24. And create it down here. And send this guy off to this army. And he's going to go up here, build defense, mostly. This guy, which is still trying to cheat, this is something I don't understand about BAI half the time. We're losing most of our men based on that one attack, actually. Because what's going to happen is they'll go run into a highly defensive position there. Hungary renounces unit. Because what's going to happen is they're going to keep putting men down here, but because we have level 2 forts, it's going to be really negative against them. Less division training time, which is good. Our compliance is going to go up now, which is also good. And keep these units just stuck here at the moment, since we don't have any other armies set up yet. So essentially what these units are doing is keeping a airport open, which we are going to desperately use to our actual advantage over here. Which, yeah, I get it's not the best because it's not this one, but you do want to keep it because of how this is going to go. They're going to keep trying to push in, they're going to keep getting repelled. And that's just going to keep happening over and over and over again. Keep saving that political power though. For a second I wasn't recording for a second. I was about to go, oh shoot, this sucks. No, you're gonna lose a lot of men no matter what. Because they don't have 2 full stacks of units, which is also nice. What's also nice is they're gonna keep attacking us, we're gonna keep defending, get better research speed at this point in time. We also don't have artillery. If you want to deploy them now, you can. I'm going to save up so that a full health unit, because we're going to navally invade these 4 provinces right here, including this one here. And we're also going to send some here and push up into this province here so we get at least somewhat of a good stable front line. Now, of course, because of how this is going, we're going to get more defense on our territories. Oh, good, all set up. What you're going to do this twice. See how good that guy is compared to him. This, wrong one. That guy, you want to promote actually. He's now going to have a net 1 to everything. That's okay. You want to promote him here. And you want to give him a offensive doctrine. Go here, select this guy, put him in charge. Go here, look at this guy, see if he's made any progress on these. You just want to double check on this. And what you want to do with this guy is you're going to want to set up a fallback line. Actually no, you want to set up front line here. Set up front line orders to go here. Set up naval invasions also from this place. Send one there, another one here, another one here, and another one here. So those should at least have, if you really want to be strategic about, you would put 2 units on each one of those, which is why we're just going to sit here and wait. Of course, we've just officially lost that war. You're going to want to keep these units up here until... There we go. If you do that correctly, you keep all your other orders. Keep these 3 up here till these guys are fully based, and send them down to this line. Of course, we've actually are losing intel on them. We expect they might have 23 divisions, which is fine by me. They are gonna start losing a lot of they're all volunteer only, but they're also on low economy. Low economy is the best economy. Once you run out of factories to build, what you want to do is build military factories. More unassigned divisions, just keep sending them up there, because all of these are going to just be filled out naturally up to at least 2 units. Yeah, it's kind of broken actually, if you think about that. If you literally just keep signing units, they fill out naturally. Because our deficit on guns is shrinking by a lot. Despite that we only have 4 factories on them. Ideology is done. Now, of course, what you want to do is do extra research slot. Because we don't have any dockyards, which kind of sucks. But that's okay. Because we're about to effectively do a invasion of Libertad. I think that's how you pronounce it. See how much they're losing there? That's the whole point. That's why you want mobile defense. Because you're effectively stacking your units to be a defensive-offensive unit posturing. At this point, you have 300. You might think about spending it, and I would say, yeah, you should spend it. You should spend it on industrial concern. All those guys suck. And, my opinion, infantry. Because you're going to be an infantry build with artillery at 7-2, per se, or 13. Ball, depending on how you play the game. Keep selecting them, keep sending them up. You need at least about 20 up there. 15 if you want to do it a fast and sneaky one. Of course, you might see insufficient resources. That's okay. Doesn't really matter. They're still being built. I mean, we do have 17, so I'll send a extra one to the US. More guns, the merrier. So effectively, what you're gonna do is essentially a pincher attack. You're gonna attack with your main army from the south. They aren't meant to actually make any headway. They're just meant to lock these units in essentially a position where they cannot retreat without losing supplies. And, you know, henceforth, a headlocked position. So now we should be putting units on somewhere else. Extra research slot, that's nice. I would advise against going with those and do a naval effort instead. Got an extra research slot? Dandy. Improved artillery now, because it's at 72, and then you're gonna do those. They're just longer, so improved artillery would make sense at the moment. Because he's now stuck still because everything has now been put as a position up there. Got 5 guys normally defending, and everyone else doing that. As you can see, those units here, they ain't making that much headway, I should say. Because you're gonna select that now. You're gonna wait. Now, you're gonna also cause all of these units to attack. You're gonna notice it's gonna go green. They're all gonna make some headway. Now, this guy is gonna essentially get encircled now. And you're gonna want to send these guys down to help. You're also gonna now send these guys here. All these guys are now gonna go there. this army is now going to start freaking out a lot because you have just effectively encircled them. And since he did it in such a way, it now negates some stuff. You did get some free dockyards. Good for you. What should you build them on? Submarines. I only got one. What did they get built? Oh, I haven't built them yet. My bad. They're gonna go in Panama. Wait, what? Okay, that is a big issue. They're gonna go in Panama. We technically don't have a car on Panama, which means we aren't gonna get access to all of them anytime soon. Now, of course, because of how this is set up, what I would advise is doing a mad dash. So send 2 there, S, and then send 2 here and send them up there. Effectively, that's what you should do. If you can reach... Oh wow, I think I might. Okay, keep one there for defensive purposes. But yeah, if they just got encircled, that is so funny. Send them up here, do that. Split half, send some there, send there. Okay, that's the first time that has ever actually happened to me in real life. Usually we get stuck in a headbutting contest, but as you can see, that was extremely swift. I was not expecting that one bit. We literally just, as you can see, we are getting big fast, and I'm not even at a full 48 stack yet, which you're desperately going to need if you want to make any headroom against Venezuela whatsoever. Venezuela is literally the worst stick in the mud I've ever seen. In fact, it's so bad I know for a fact I'm gonna have to actually put up these 2 fuzz immediately, because you are gonna have a hell of a time trying to do that. And of course, what's also nice with these 2 fuzz is, in the future, if you so happen to got a naval invasion from the US, you can use them as a blockade route to help get your lines back in action. Because Mexico should still be guaranteed by them, which means you can also annex Mexico in the future. So go ahead and deploy the rest of them, send them up, take all of them, shift. So that way they should all start getting up to level 3. You're gonna need it if you're gonna go up against Venezuela. I don't care what you do, put all your units on this one. Enter. Then take another one, send them there. Fall back line in that part. I don't care about reaching the city. Most important part of invading Venezuela is to take port cities and make a 3rd front line. You also gonna have to put them on fallback line before you reassign them, because they're an absolute... There we go. You're now going to start putting them on these 3 there, and go ahead and select... Oh, we don't have those. My bad. Don't select anything. Instead, go ahead and select this man. So, we're going to get mobile defense. Get this. This is how your tree should look like. It's not that heavily important if you do, like, small construction stuff. I've not done anything in air. What you're going to need to start doing is you're going to want to go down a heavy fighter strategic bomber path. You could go down fighters, but based on how South America is set up, it's going to be heavily ineffective, because heavy fighters just have a better range. And playing as the US, heavy fighters are OP, As Germany, fighters are OP for you, since you can really get them boosted up. In fact, in every game, air decides everything. Nothing else matters. We just got a new dockyard initiative. Go ahead and do this one. I do understand that is going to be a nice boost actually, so don't worry about it. You get more free dockyards. What you gotta do? Put them all in subs. We're gonna really start cheesing it at the moment. Truth, I'll tell you that's good. You do want to check your compliance, because you really want your compliance up at least 80 before you get any good bonuses. But yeah, because it gets you almost everything you need. I think it's this one here at 40% that you get your factories back, and this is when you get a recruitable population. But effectively, this nice 80% is the best. At what? Panama, original country is not Yugoslavia. You know, that's the first time I've ever actually seen that. An original country. I guess those are some special things here. I guess you can't do. Okay. Well, we'll forget about that. You got your research slot freed up. Don't do that. Keep working on improved infantry equipment. Venezuela here. It's gonna be a bloodbath. I don't care how good you are at this game. It's gonna be a bloodbath. You are most likely gonna get stuck somewhere in Venezuela. Whether it be this city up here, which I am notoriously hate because you get stuck there, which is why you do naval invasions. If you can do your naval invasions correctly, you can easily take out that city here. The main issue is this one here, because of how it is. Which is why you should start a third front and enclose on both sides, because they're all going to rush to deploy units, but by taking out the majority of their centers, it's not going to work. Side note, you can now decommission basic infantry equipment. You don't need it. Now, we will justify our goal on Zulia. Doesn't matter, we're gonna take all. Go ahead, get Scout Weapons 3. And since you now have 46, what you should do is you should put on at least one artillery and save it. One artillery can make all the difference. You're just praying at the moment Venezuela does not join the Axis. Because once Venezuela joins the Axis, it's gonna be a hard time. Aviation effort, that's nice. Now, what you want to do is you could do strategic, which just gets you strategic bombers, or you could do fire, which actually does get you the heavy fires, which is going to be the better option. But it only gives you 2, not 3. So what you should do instead is actually look at these two. Flexible Navy, because you're all going to be doing a lot of subs. Y'all going to want to buddy up to the Germans and the Japanese. China is kind of getting its ocean handed to them, very much, essentially. And they haven't gotten Hong Kong yet, so I think it's good. Once they get Hong Kong, you should be worried. Right now, Germany is doing its thing in Poland. Seem to be doing it faster and better than I am. That is the biggest mistake any player can just do, because I think, yeah, they just declared war on Luxembourg. That is a big no-no, because it takes up this province and this one, which is now going to be split. In most of my games, I just leave Luxembourg alone and just surround them. Get infantry equipment. I have 168. But yeah, Poland doesn't stand a chance. Venezuela also does not stand any chance whatsoever. You want to do what Venezuela does. They have shipping rights from Italy. You also offer Italy those shipping rights, docking rights, I guess I should say, not shipping. Essentially, they're all shipping rights. Of course, Venezuela is going to start pumping out units like a madman because they are, in fact, fascist. You're also fascist. You start off in a much worse situation than everyone else. Peru is the hardest nation to do that because they're the only one with a starting manpower pool of essentially nothing. Ecuador, you all gonna use up their manpower pool quickly. Venezuela and Colombia are usually a bit better off in that sense because they have just a bit more manpower. Because most of these suck at the moment, but go ahead and do secret weapons. Go ahead and put this, no, save your political prep. Oh, actually at the moment. Because I'm waiting for this one to finish. Put them on planes. We also now have, oh wow. Okay, so this is something that happens. You are going to need a bunch of dockyards to start building dockyards. Ecuador, the Galapagos Islands, in fact, have 4 naval dockyards, which is amazing. Those dockyards fun, which is actually kind of amazing. Yeah. USSR occupies eastern Poland. You're going to need to start building a bunch of naval dockyards because you're going to need to build a navy. A navy from essentially nothing. Which is gonna suck. I forgot to check if Colombia actually had a navy beforehand. Venezuela doesn't have a navy. No, Colombia does have a navy, my bad. They do, but it's small enough that you could just simply ignore it, or you could pop it and then take it. It doesn't really matter. I keep forgetting to remove that. As you can see, I still have not created a agency. I really like those factories though. Once this completes, go ahead, get heavy fighters. Then, wait for a research bonus on heavy fighters 2 and 3 to come along. 3 is still in the future, which is good. Handy. Or you could just wait for those actually, because those are way too far ahead of time. Get heavy fighters. You also going to want to start researching submarines as well. There's Denmark and Norway. I don't even play like this. What's Germany doing? Italy just joined. So, you know, if you can't really clear on these guys and annex them because of how they're set up now. It's gonna be very hectic. But what you can do is just go down and eat up Bolivia, take out Paraguay, because Paraguay actually does have some resources. Not a lot, but some if you really want to puppet them. Because once this is done, what you should do is start. Is it flying formation you want? Or deep? Yeah, it is flying formation. You're now going to get heavily invested into the airplane. Secret weapons has just been completed. Go ahead and select the fighter focuses, so it should finish, and then you can... What the heck is that? They really just gave up. Wow. Oh, they're not on the axis? Oh, they're not on the axis. That's why. I have not seen that happen. Yes, except you are going to become a very big powerhouse in South America. And if you really want to, you can go ahead and start invading all these other countries. This is going to be a tricky one because they're fascist. But essentially, all of them should be fair game. Once you complete that, do this. You are currently going to start heading up the head of the curve. Of course, what you want to do is now the one with grenade. Oh, whoops. Mark it as usual, but right. But go ahead and select that one. Of course, your trade is now going to be suffering a lot. Tungsten isn't that bad. It's just you need the guns. Building naval ports as far as the eye can see. Y'all just gonna keep pumping out submarines. You should get at least one convoy. Just a small convoy, one getting created. Okay, who's still training? Almost no one other than some. I forgot. I upgrade some of the units so they now need to. You trained up a bit. You can actually change this horse division out. It's literally just been sitting like that for most of the game. And you might want to stop here for a second and let them regain their organization. But if you do have a staff office plan, I would advise using that right about now, because I forgot to set up their front lines, which look like this. Yeah, they don't really have that good front line set because of how I'm doing this. But overall, it does actually last for, I believe, about a month. May 6th is when it expires. Staff office plan should get into effect. Let them all rally up a bit. Finland reject Soviet demands. These guys are set up. Go ahead, get everyone rolling into motion. These 14, if you really want to, you can just set up a small front line here and just tell them to walk. Because y'all gonna actually want them on your naval operations. And then we'll go right up till May before we declare it. Reason being is we want to try to get as many units as possible from Venezuela on all front lines. Of course, what you could do is you can also do this, which does add more air bases to Lima. I don't understand why, but it does. You have a lot of political power. That is mainly going to be used for this. And if you want to, you could just keep on export focus. Doesn't really matter that much. Well, it depends, because you have an intel ledger, so this tells you if people are buying your stuff. And they're only buying oil, which is actually a good thing, because it gives us factories. So we're now going to trade for other people's stuff. Now we're going to wait. Okay. Now is as good as any time. Okay, that is good actually. Punch into them as fast as humanly possible. Y'all guys knows you are gonna start losing ground in the south. Does not matter. You no longer get effects from nationalism. Take one unit, send down. Take unit, send over. See these units? Select half, you're gonna pin them. Just create flying formation. I'm gonna be honest, you are gonna expect your units to lose a bit. we don't have our new planes yet. So 5 and 5 works. Because what's happening is they're sending units away that could be helping with the effort. Why we did that is so that way we can, once this unit gets into its betterment position, essentially, what you can also do is actually select one of these units and tell them to get those plots of land, so that way, second thought, actually don't tell them, someone just hold up there, my bad. Just tell them that this is now going to be one front line. Let them reorganize over that. Why is still only 10? There should be... Okay, two of my units went missing. That's new. That hasn't happened before. Yeah. Set them up in Panama. And what just happened is we have just, in theory, the entire army's now encircled. So hold off on their attack. Delete this blue front line up here. That blue front line doesn't matter. It's all about this one. Send them down. And actually take 4 of these guys, send them over here. Them are needed over here. You want to now hold the front lines up. You want to pretty much just essentially park your men and hold them. Always make sure to get that. That's going to be a nice boost, actually. Because all these people are actually technically encircled, which means you can easily invade them. Well, not if you do your front lining correctly, actually. You can easily invade them and knock them out very quickly. The big issue is going to be they really just leave that... I'm sorry, I can't believe I'm seeing my eyes. They left that open. As you can see, this AI is very, very dumb. So what you can do is you can actually just shift click here, this one, and go ahead and tell this one to move up now. And you'll get a squashing victory, because all these units are essentially no longer can be used. You're just gonna flatten it. You're gonna get a bunch of XP from this as well. Heavy fires all move up. You're gonna be pumping them out as quickly as you possibly can. This screen is going to start becoming a bit messy. Don't worry about it. Next up, you want rocketry. Of course, up here they're doing their own thing. You guys should actually be attacking it here, guys. Because they don't have any supply whatsoever, which is amazing. Because you can just sit back and just watch your men. You should actually start getting supply companies. Hey, fun fact, you guys should actually be over here. And they're just all gonna get encircled now. As you can see, we've lost practically almost half the numbers they've lost. I'm not even done killing everyone yet. Actually, we should actually do that front line. This is gonna be hell to invade. Can I get... No, they are actually on top of the city. Wow. So, yep. You haven't even grabbed the city. My bad. I don't know how many people we've lost in that. All I know is that was an outstanding success. Now that I found out that all you need to do is actually cut off this city. If you can cut off this city while naval invading these two parts, all of Venezuela has no supply and you can just steamroll them. That's also the fastest I've ever done that. Your manpower law, keep it there actually. We're gonna actually pause the game now, go ahead and evaluate everything, because now we have this option. Everything becomes a core state of Peru. The thing is, if you're playing as any other nation, this will not become your core state. Only if you're playing as Peru. Once we click this one button, you become the Bolivar Empire, which looks funny. Now, mind you, if you really want to start really expanding, I'll show you how. Step 1, Bolivia. Why Bolivia, you may ask? Because it's Bolivia. You are gonna want Bolivia. Now these guys, if they're missing 2 usage now, exist. Ta-da! Go here. Now these guys, you're just going to want to set them up on basic defense duty around the coastline. You don't want to set them on every coastline. I usually select all the provinces in case I have to move. I deselect everything but naval parts and let them file around till that fits the needs. The reason why I select all provinces is in case, I don't know, you have a lot of them, like I do in this case, and you also want to protect airports and victory points. I mean, you could just do only coastlines, which would take 39. Take off coastlines, you only need 20, which is good enough. So that way at least you have some defensive units in case something bad starts happening. You're gonna just start putting all your factories on airplanes. Of course, now everything's a core state, so what you're gonna do is... Oop, that's not what I wanted. Build up naval factories in these. These are still being built in, doesn't matter. Build up mills in these. Actually, no, don't. You're gonna keep building up more naval factories. Of course, this has terrible infrastructure, and you only have level 2, which is why I am insisting on that naval dockyard build up as quickly as humanly possible at the moment. Because you're gonna get Heavy Fighters 3 soon. Those are going to be your main plane to use. In fact, you don't actually need to put those here at the moment because we have a lack of guns and artillery. We should put them on those. Because of that, before we get that, we should actually look here for our heavy fighters. We should get that one. Take air accidents chance. That's gonna be a bit better. And here you should also take that one. Okay, you become very essential very quickly. Justify on. Oh wait, how much? It only costs 25 from there. So this is how you can do the Bolivia Empire. Sure, it's a bit long. I hope you guys had time to watch this, but it's a nice guide to create this as Peru. From here, if you want to, you can actually... Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to conquer most of South America, which is what I did usually, and then, or if you want to, you can actually switch to democracy, or you could help the Axis, which seem to be having a terrible time in Europe nonetheless, and in Africa, which I would advise joining the Axis actually in this game. But as you can see, this is quick. Usually it went a lot better than I thought it would. I'm setting this up for Let's Play, so that way I can finish showing you what you can do as Bolivia Empire. Of course, I'm suggesting heavy fighters and strategic bombers based on fact you don't have any airports anywhere. In fact, you only have a couple which are close together, and that's by luck. You have one here. You have one here, one here. You have one here. You have one here, one here, one here, and one here. The thing is, that one was some focus. These are normal. They also have one here and one here, but they're small. This one, capital region, and this one's also a capital region. Effectively, you don't get that much planeage room here, which is why heavy fighters are usually best. Same with strategic bombers. Instead of doing fighters, that doesn't make that much sense because you don't really have. I just usually play on like heavy fighters for longer range and more hitting because you have less airports to work with. If you're in Europe, you have tons of airports, so I just suggest stay away from heavy fighters. It'll be a waste of time and energy to do those. And so here, we're going to take out Bolivia, Chile. You can do either one in whichever order you want. Of course, you are going to actually want to puppet them since you don't get any cars on them actually, which is sad. You get cars on this one. Wait, what? Really? This one? Huh. Weird. You don't get cars on that one apparently. You do, however, get cars on that, on the Panama Canal as well. Weird, I thought you got cars on this and a lot more over here. Oh, maybe they debuffed it a bit, oh well. Anyway, this is still overpowered because if you notice, I can now go click on these and it's like, oh yeah, you got tons of manpower. And of course, if you want, you can just debuff your conscription law whatsoever and it won't change that much. Now 10% available. You can get a lot of manpower out here if you do this correctly, because what you should do is puppet all your other, all these countries down here, including Brazil if they have not joined Portugal, which is a huge thing with Portugal, is they can join as one by going down this tree, or going down here. Usually this is the more peaceful option, most of the time. So they can grab up Brazil, and now you have an issue with them. You can also, if you do it fast enough, and go up north enough, you can also take out Mexico out still a guaranteed country, because you're still guaranteed by the United States. Which means you can attack any country as long as they're guaranteed by the United States with no penalties whatsoever, unless that country then joins a superpower like the USSR or something. Anyway, it's time for me to say goodbye, and I hope you guys had a good time watching. See ya next time.